Sunbeams seeped through the blinds into the office, hitting Adam's tired eyes, making them more strained than they already were. His head throbbed with each passing thought. He hadn't slept all night. There was so much going through his head, he couldn't even focus on the paperwork on his desk. The most he could do was stare at the circular patterns on his mahogany desk, his fingers tracing over each line, connecting one pattern to another. One loop, then another, crisscross, and a spiral downward. Hell of a coaster someone could ride, Adam thought. His fingers kept tracing and tracing, until his fingers hit the empty mug of his now fourth cup of coffee for the day. He stared at the mug that broke his concentration. It was old and chipped in a few places. There was even a chunk of the handle missing. There was art on the mug that had mostly worn away. Adam had known what the picture was originally. At least he thought he did. He could remember every small detail of the picture just as it was when he got it years ago. But the one part of the picture that hadn't been worn away, that seemed to have survived the test of time all these years later, was a red devil he had known for a long time. The friendly red fellow, plastered in yellow and blue accents and colorful clothing, stared back at Adam with a wink and a loving smile, topped off with a tongue sticking out of his mouth in a cheeky yet endearing way. The friendliness of it all almost made Adam smile. It made him think of times he was on top of the world and thriving every single moment and opportunity that came his way. It was a moment in time that made him feel, in his eyes, on a high. But he was brought back to reality when he looked back at the worn picture on the mug and locked onto a detail that made everything crash down. A knock at the door rang out, snapping Adam out of his trance. He rubbed his eyes furiously to get rid of any and all sleep in his eyes. Yeah? Who is it? He said, trying not to sound irritated. Hey, it's Arnie. I heard you were on death's door. Wanted to check if you were all right. I even brought you a coffee to help you out. Adam chuckled, hearing Arnie's voice and his humor bringing light to his presence. Adam continued the conversation while the door was still shut. You know that coffee will be number 5 for me today, right? Shit. You're closer to his door than I thought. You sure you're alright, Adam? I could get something from my closet that could help relieve what you got. Nah, I'm fine, Arnie. It's just the stress. Today's a big day. Tell me about it. I feel like there's more and more kids that come around every Bring a Friend Day. Today it feels like the whole building might explode with how many there are. Yeah. Adam's hands tensed up. But hey, you've been the principal here for how long? You got this. All you have to do is say hi to the new kids, give a speech, and unveil that surprise you've been telling everyone about. Meanwhile, I get to stay the night and clean up after all these rascals. I might have been seeing things, but I think one of the little ones used paper to clean himself up. And I don't mean the toilet kind. Adam chuckled once more. Arnie really knew how to bring Adam back. Nah, come on, Arn. It's not that bad. Besides, you love those kids just as much as they love you. Everybody loves you. Yeah, that's just what makes this whole thing worthwhile, you know? Seeing those happy faces on these kids, having fun with the friends that they brought, and seeing their friends play with their friends' friends. It just warms my heart seeing all this. Seeing what you've done and how far you've come. You really do have it all, Mr. Uthman. What I wouldn't give to be in your spot right now. What I wouldn't give to get out of it, Adam thought. Yeah, well, what can I say? This is all I could ever ask for and then some. True that, Arnie replied. Bell chimes ran through the building, interrupting Adam and Arnie's conversation. The excited screams and laughter of kids ran through the hallways, piercing through the shut door into Adam's office. Lunchtime. You better hop to it. Yeah. But hey, like I said, it warms my heart seeing these kids have fun, even if it means picking up after them. I'll still check around my closet to see if there's anything I can give you. I'll see you later, Adam. Oh, and I can't wait to see that surprise later. Must have been a big deal to announce it today of all days. Enjoy your lunch, Mr. Uthman. Arnie could be heard walking down the hallway, along with the sounds of excited kids rushing to the lunchroom. After a short minute, everything fell silent, and Adam was once again left alone with his thoughts. He zoned out. Each thought raced by him like a speeding car. This is ridiculous. It's just the stress. You've been waiting for something to happen, and nothing has happened. You can't back out of this now just because your mind is trying to get you to back out. Adam glanced over at the wall, looking at the accolades and awards of all of his achievements. Each one further proof of what he's done. How far he's come. He had everything he ever needed, but not what he wanted. Whether it happens or not, you need to show them all. Show them what you're capable of, what real talent and effort looks like, before it all burns away. He rubbed his head and stared at the unfinished paperwork on his desk. Adam groaned, putting his elbows on his desk and his head in his hands. Maybe I should have taken Arnie's coffee. Adam brought his eyes to his mug once more, staring at the red devil that replied with a smile. Adam's eyes slowly glided over to the right of the worn picture, which showed a disembodied arm being raised, its green hand giving a thumbs up to a friend it can't see. If anything does happen, he thought, if anything happens to me, at least I'll still be remembered for what I did. Adam looked back at the clock hanging over the door. What's one more cup? Adam stood up from his chair and stretched, before grabbing his cane and walking out the door, leaving the worries and memories behind.